good. Yay. The Twitch is switching. The YouTube is YouTubing. Our phone magic is phone magic. There we go, YouTube. Please, you take a while. Stop it. Bam. Yay. Much better. Press the button. Press it, press it, press it. You may be able to tell that I am a little sick. Okay, that sniff hurt. The sniffs are not supposed to hurt. Why did that hurt? Ow. Alrighty. Bam. Yay. I'm going to take another one. I took one of these before I made dinner. I finished dinner. I am still hurting. Man. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, we're not going to be around for too long. Although I shouldn't jinx it, because, you know, every time I do say that, I always end up streaming like an extra hour and a half than I intend to. So you know what? We will be here for the exact amount of time that we need to be. How about that? We'll say that instead. There we go. Yeah. The music gets to stay though, that's some good noise. I like when the music stays. Because all we're doing is going over some Master Duel replays. Behold! It's alive. Yeah. We... Oh, speaking of some replays, oh, yeah, hold on. Bam. There we go. Yay. Alright. You know, doing some deck changes and some deck stuff. There's a new festival coming up. It is Fusion Xyz Link. Naturally, because all my Fusion decks are not only Fusion decks, and because all the Xyz decks I have are not only Xyz decks, I'm of course resorting to Link, where all my stuff in the extra deck is a Link anyway, so this is what I'll probably be using for the upcoming event. I'll switch it up if I feel like it. I've been getting more and more used to Raid Raptor. I do quite actually like Raid Raptor a lot more than when I first tried it. I'm not sure why, I don't know what changed, but I think this is going to be a permanent mainstay. We finally have an Xyz deck that I actually enjoy. I could probably use it during the event, but I really like having the Y-Strix there. I really like a Y-Strix. I don't like not having Y-Strix. It feels weird. Got rid of my old pure Pendulum Magician deck and not probably gonna use pendulums until I actually finish the Supreme King decks. So there's that too. I do want to get to this. Yeah, because I like pendulum. Pendulum decks are fun. I genuinely like don't. see the issues with pendulums that everyone else is having. I finished Lunalight. I am still getting used to the combos, though. Not gonna lie. Like, I get the general idea, but, like, there's just certain times and places where I just, like, cannot figure out how to do it myself. Like, I'm basically attached to a combo video when I use this deck, and I don't like using a deck online until I don't need to do that anymore, right? Like, I feel very locked to this, like, to a fucking video when I'm using this deck, unfortunately. I will get used to it, though, because I do like it. It is neat. I fuck with it. It's fun. I like that the extra deck is, like, a bit flexible, too. There's a couple of other things you could be using. Like, I see some people use Chimera, some people not use Chimera. The rank 4s you have in there are pretty interesting, too. One of the ones I've seen was you can get Gallant Granite, and Gallant Granite grabs Nibiru for you. Because your own board is Nibiru-proof because of the Liger Dancers, because they're not affected by card effects, your own included. So that's fun. Aside from Lunalight stuff. So, there's that. I will get used to that. Other than that, what else? Yeah, I scrapped Pearly. Like I said, I think Raid Raptor is my personal preferred Xyz deck as of now. And the Ruler stuff, as neat as it was, is also just kind of funky, not gonna lie. So yeah. That is enough of the decks. Let's some play. Actually, you know what? I already did my dailies, but you know what? Let's start with some Duel Live. It feels weird not starting with Duel Live, so we will start with the Duel Live. Alrighty, we open Droll and Lockbird, Ash Blossom, Backup Adagnister, Double Impulse. This is looking like a standard, we got Malice focused. Alright, we got Malice. We normal the backup. Backup grabs Dormouse. We send away Impulse. Back C, but we do have Ash Blossom, but we choose to end there. Signet Mining. Alright, looks like we have a mirror match. We're gonna Ash Blossom, Signet Mining. Okay, there we go. We're going to Impulse March Hare. I love all the visual effects they add to, like, commonly used staple cards. It's very fun. Droll has one too now. With, like, orange feathers will, yeah. Look. Whew. I like that. Alright, standard Malice combo so far, kind of. Into Red Ransom. No more Appaloosa, does some damage to Malice, but it's not the end of the world. Into Access, we target our Red Ransom. We banish Red Ransom, bring her back, pop the back up, and bringing back Red Ransom, send away Dormouse, and that's enough for lethal. D. Alrighty, let's go on to some replays. Let's play some rees. A lot of simple duels. Not too much in the grand scheme of things, although we do have this fucking... once again, every time I play Stun, something silly happens. Always. It never fails. Let's go in order. We have this duel. Looks like I was using Buster Blue Eyes Yep. Going up against... I have no idea what this person is using. What the hell? Rizio. Well, as we can tell, this is before they had some changes to their list. Your first timeout win against Sky Striker. That's impressive. That's not a deck I would expect to get timeout wins with. Or against. You would think with their, like, recursion and recyclability, they would have no problem there, but you'd be surprised. Time wins are always silly, because almost every time I've won via time, it never feels like I won because of time. Hello, W. Derek. I think you're a first-time chatter. How are you doing? YouTube doesn't tell me when you're a first-time chatter, unlike Twitch. Can you watch my replay? Absolutely! Put your ID code in the chat, and we'll pull it up. I don't mind getting other people's before mine, actually. I kind of expected to do that a lot today. If for whatever reason YouTube will not let you put in your ID code number, then try Twitch, because I know one of them is like funky and doesn't let you put in a random series of numbers because it's afraid you're like trying to do something. I think YouTube is fine with it. I'm pretty sure it was Twitch was the one that was funky with it. There we go. It is 144098293. Bam. Twitch banned me. That's never a good sign. Alrighty. We got some interesting stuff. We got some Blue Eyes. We've got some Dark Magician. We've got, that looks like the Synchro starter. And we've got a Dragon Maid deck. As is usual, I'm not going to look at the viewer decks. I'm just going to see what happens here. Hi, Gold Star! Love me some Dragon Maid. As you might imagine. Yep, we got Dragon Maid. Alright, let's take a quick pause here. I do want to see what we got. We have Parlor, Chamber, Airness, Lorpar, and Changeover in hand. That's neat, you're playing Nurse. What do we got? We've got triple spears. Ooh, we've got the rank 8s. Oh, we're going like full on with just the starter deck. This is going to be interesting. We have 3 copies of the starter deck. This is going to be neat. Favorite spell card. Ah, that's a hard one. That's a really hard one, actually. Yeah, it's the 3 times the structure deck. Super Polymerization is up there. I know a lot of people hate that card. But Super Poly is up there for me. I would have to think about it a little more. Alrighty, our opponent is going first. We use Airness to summon Parlor. Using Parlor, we mill Laundry. And they end. All they did was normal Sora. Hog Breed, yeah, that's a classic. We activate Chamber, we grab Welcome. I love Welcome. Our maids get nice and stronger. We activate Lorpar in order to target the opponent. We send Laundry back to hand. We activate Changeover. We change over into House. Put in the EMZ. I'll go into attack. We send Parlor back using Changeover, which then procs House in order to pop the Shura. We use Changeover one more time. Out comes Shio. And Chamber tags out into House. Back. Back. We bring out Lorpar. We bring out Airness. Alright, comes Sirocco and Vata. We go into Blackwing Armor Master. Armor Master is going to swing on Airness. Man, they must have bricked pretty bad, because, like, Blackwing can have a decent enough hand to start synchro spamming. They must not have had great stuff in their hand, unfortunately. Unless they're also just using the structure. Alright, we send Parla back, there's a changeover, which of course procs house. Bam! That's the end. Neat! I'm curious. Details. Opponent deck. Yeah, this is looking like it was a structure battle. Actually, even with a structure battle, like, if you get multiple copies of the structure, you can still do something pretty decent here, right? Like, you can, you know... You've got the Harumatan, 3 copies of Vatu, not so many Gales, but some Gales are nice. You need more of, Zephyroses. You have the one Zonda. He's missing, not Shura, the other one. He's missing the two, like, new guys. New and, like, big air quotes there. Where is it? Let's see. Yeah, Sudri and... Where is the other one? Simoon. He wasn't using Sudri or Simoon. Like, these guys are super good at Blackwings. Like, these guys are a 3 of. A viewer duel? You know what? Sure. Do. Brain is braiding. There we go. Title lookup is, like, really funny. Let me go back up to your number here. 844-498. 293. There you go. You subbed. Yay! Where is the beautiful whisperings of Robert Belgrade in my ear? Actually, hold on, wait, matter of fact, wait. Hit that. Duel. Room. Create. We'll just do a big ol' standardy stuff for standardness. What to use? Since I'm getting a little more used to it, I'll use Blackwings. There you go. Bing bong. Head flip. Alright. Let's go. Yay, Mega Serval song. I wish these would pop up more. I quite like Mega Serval. Very fun. Alrighty, I open Maxi, Wing, Strangle, Bloom, and Fua. Not bad. Oh no! You wanna go first? Sure. Bing bong. Yeah. Alrighty. We now have Droll, Double Tribute, and Strangle. It's not ideal, but we can make this work. Have a Maxi on top of this. Face down. Dragon Shrine. Alright, we're sending a dragon. Oh, yay. We send Chamber, so he probably has Hospitality in hand. Probably going to use the Hospitality to bring out the Chamber, send the Samba. No, we have new Jarl. Alright, we're still on Dragon Structure. Noted. It's actually going to be important as we go along with this. It's Returner. Alright. Followed by. How to go about this? Probably want to start with Tribute. Activate that. Send Fuzzy. Fuzzy then procs, so now we add Fuzzy to hand. I love that he's just called Fuzzy. Like, that's just Fuzzy. Troll. That's actually going to throw a big monkey wrench if we don't stop that. I really need to stop that. This deck is kind of funky into Droll. It doesn't completely kill the combo, but I don't think I can get lethal unless he had monsters on board. So we're going to have to stop that. We're going to use the Fuzzy that we added. There we go. I just need darks, right? Yeah, I do. Alright, so we should be good. Let's go into Ranger's Knight. Oh no! You're too good. No, I don't think it's that. It's like, the Dragon Mage structure is like a good starting point, but yeah, you definitely like improve it as you go along to help with your capabilities going next. Like, I'll show you my Dragon Mage deck after. This is a lot of starters, but this isn't much interruption. We have Tribute, Strangle, Simorg, Bloom Vulture. Out comes Parlor. We activate Parlor. Lancia is not going to help this matchup at all, I don't think. Actually, wait a minute, it might. Nah, you know, I'll let it rock. Send Chamber. Hospitality in order to bring her back. There she goes. Now we can proc Chamber. We're adding either Changeover or another Hospitality for later. Another Hospitality would probably be the better idea. We're getting Changeover, that's fine. We'll change over now. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. we had dragons in hand, so now we can make Shio. We sent Kitchen and Tinhek. Out comes Shio. Let's see, we will now change over, send Parlor back. We change over one more time. Sending Chamber and Parlor. Out comes House. Yep, out comes House. And alrighty, so we have an Omni Negate and a Pop to worry about. We do Lancia, which is honestly not a great draw. We proc a special here. This will let him bring out either Chamber or Parlor. Probably Parlor, because Parlor will allow another send. We're choosing Chamber, so we're adding the spell trap to hand. Out comes Hospitality. Alrighty. I need to contend with an Omni Negate and a Bounce Destruction, which is going to be a little tricky. Out comes Parlor, so Parlor will get the send here, so now we probably send Lord Par or Seremba. Seremba would be a decent idea, but I might be able to deal with this before the battle phase, before they can swap. Maybe. Lord Par checks out. Alrighty, we're going to start with Bloom Vulture. I need to burn Omnis. Yeah, I need to burn and bait interaction right now. Alright, out comes the second house. I still need to worry about a bounce, but I think if I normal tribute, we should be fine. Let's summon Strangle first, just in case. Now we tribute, send Fuzzy. Fuzzy procs that lets us activate Fuzzy to add Fuzzy to hand. Uh-oh. That's Droll, isn't it? Yeah, that's Droll. Ah, that's gonna be tricky. We will make do, but this will be funky. Alrighty. Going to Raiders Knight, proc Raiders Knight, send away Strangle. That lets us go into Brave Strix. Yeah, we unfortunately cannot add a rank up to hand, so we're going to have to set a Radioactive Spell Trap. We're going to detach Tribute. Decisions. Let's see, that adds the hand, that returns and draws. We can't do that either. So yeah, we're going to have to set Radioactive's Force, but we don't have enough Xyz in order to utilize it right now. The smart idea would probably be Glorious Bright. That way we could stop something. But how much is it truly going to accomplish? What I think I'll do is I'll set Rise rank up. And then do I want to do this? That'll put them in the grave. This will let me special summon, which might just be enough. Let's try that. So Wise Strix will then proc. Letting me special summon. Does that negate its effects? Yes, it does. So that adds the hand, which we can't do. We just need a winged beast. So let's just put him on board. Ah, I can't use Simorg right now. That's unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunately we're a bit stuck now. And I don't want to go to the battle phase because that'll proc the dragon's transformation. So we'll do this instead. This is a perfect example of what I said last time, where Droll is like such a impactful card against this deck, unfortunately. We target House, that'll let us bring out one of the big dragons. Out comes Lord Par. Probably bring out Tin Heck with this. That'll bring it. That's Lady. Yep. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. We take House and Parlor, probably going into Spheres here. Yep. I never, let's see, boom, boom, no, not that one, there we go. Aha, I was right. It did explode. I signed in like last week. Why did this reset so soon? There we go. Alrighty, there we go. Why Strix? Oh no! There goes Hospitality. Out comes Nujaro. Hi, Candy! Out comes Chamber. Out comes Welcome. That might be a big enough damage boost now. Although, do they need the... They probably didn't need that, because the switch on transformation is probably going to destroy Raider's Wing, and that'll probably be enough anyway. Went to the Retro Game Fair. Yes, I saw. I love retro game like fair stuff. I wish they would just like they were a bit more frequent. Where I would totally go. Yeah, like $4 to go there. Like honestly, like it's not a bad price considering you're probably gonna spend a lot more when you're actually there. But yeah, I have no money, so you know what the fuck am I doing over there? Outcomes changeover. This should be the last push needed for lethal. Only spent 20. Yeah, that's nuts. Now comes Shio. No, wait, that might not be enough. Okay, I might live here, but just barely. Alrighty, what I need is any way to make another rank 4. If I can just make another rank 4, that'll get enough for me to activate Raid Raptor Force. 2 Mega Bombs still with different artists. Yay! What does that one do, actually? I have no idea. Fuzzy! That might be enough, actually! Wait! Fuzzy might just work here. Let's see, I need another Raid Raptor, so I can't use some more. So I will probably have to use Fuzzy as the normal summon for some more. Alright, we're gonna Spears into... Darkness Metal. Dude, I wish more like action platformer games had like an endless stage mode like Mega Man 9 and 10 did. 2 water energy, mill 6 from your deck. Each water does 100 damage. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Funny how you thought you could win. Listen, I'm no quitter. Out comes Kitchen. Listen, until the words victory or defeat are on my screen, I'm in duel mode. There's Parlor. We have a fusion. Although, yeah, Shio's a hard once, so I don't need to worry about multiple Omnis here. But it is still standby. No, wait. No, we're good. What's the point of 60-card Yu-Gi-Oh decks? It depends on the deck. Generally speaking, the more you... So hard to draw. Yes, but also that helps hide bricks. I'll go over my decks in a moment and explain, because I think my decks are a pretty good example. Time limit. Oh no! Accursed time limit! Although, I don't think I would have lost there. Actually, yeah. If you used Shio to negate that summon, I then would have been able to use what was in my hand in order to make another rank 4, in order to make Raid Raptor Force. A dual room with more time. I will get to that in a moment. Let me go over 60-card decks. I'll go over my 60-card decks to help explain. So, normally, like, well, I use Raid Raptor, right? You want to keep it to 40 for consistency, right? That's clean, that checks out, that makes sense. Now, for certain 60 card decks, here is Buster Blader Blue Eyes. Now, would it technically be better to streamline this down to a size less than 60? No! Because there are a lot of bricks in this deck that I do not want in my opening hand. I want them to be in the deck so that I can search for them, right? I do not want to open Buster Blader. I do not want to open the Destruction Swordsman. I might want to open Prologue. I definitely don't want to open Destruction Sword Memories. Right? There are a lot of things in this deck that I don't want in my hand immediately. Now, I have 3 of the things that I do want and I can do things with, right? 3 Blue Eyes, especially now that Kaibaman the Legend exists. 3 Effect Failers, 3 Buster Whelps, 3 Sages. I would run 3 Maidens if I could, right? 3 Primate Ether Barrels, 3 Wishes, right? 3 Lordly Loads. These are all things that help start my combo, but I try my best to minimize the things that I do want in the combo, but I don't want immediately. Because I don't want some of the stuff that's in here immediately. I want them later, right? That's why I search for them, right? Because in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a lot more searching going on than there is in a lot of other card games, right? There's a lot of tutoring in Yu-Gi-Oh. So, it's a lot more beneficial in certain circumstances to hide and minimize the things that you want, but just not necessarily max out on them because you don't want them immediately. Now, that's just one example. Let's see, do I have any other 60 card decks? Yes, I do, actually. This right here is Skull Serpent. Now, as opposed to the other decks, also, hold on, related cards, here we go. Now, why is this one 60 cards? Aren't there some things that you want immediately? Yes, but also, for this card, for this deck in specific, I'm running That Grass Looks Greener. Which lets me mill cards equal to the difference between my deck and my opponent's deck. So naturally, because most people are using 40 card decks, I run a 60 card deck to mill 20. And because this deck relies on having stuff in grave, it is very important to mill as much as I possibly can to send it to grave. Yeah, this is a deck that utilizes That Grass Looks Greener very well. So yeah, there are absolutely certain circumstances. Here's another example, right? This is Blue Eyes Dragon Maid. And it's very much the same principle, right? I don't want to max out on the things that don't start my combo, so I hide them as much as I can. Right? Because there are absolutely important cards there, but I don't want to be overloading on cards that I don't need, and I need to be very specific with the cards that I am including in order to hide them. Here, with something like Dragon Link, where virtually every card in my deck is a 1-card starter, I don't really mind that I'm going at 60. So yeah. Whether you do 60, 40, or anywhere in between, I personally use 42 a lot of the time for some reason. Don't ask me why. Let's see, how do I change the time I'm hosting? How do I, yeah, disband. Make, create. Here you go, we'll do 900. 6, 7. This guy. So yeah, it just depends on the kind of deck that you're using, right? Like, some decks just operate better at... Like, Branded is a perfect example of a deck that runs at 60, no problem. That's another deck where practically almost every card in your deck is a 1-card starter, but you have a lot of 1-ofs that you don't want to see immediately because they're key pieces of your combo. So you send them off later. Oh, yeah. Also, room is back up. Room is back up, Derek. So yeah, I like that Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have a variable deck size though, because it's very neat. Yeah, like the draw cards in Pokemon are almost all exclusively just that, right? Like they're draw cards. They're absolutely cards where you know, search for certain things, right? Like, I don't know, like Crispin or something, right? But yeah, a lot of the cards in Pokemon are just straight up draw cards, right? Right? Like, you have Lilies, you have Professor's Research, you have, you know, Lunatone, as an example. You know, plenty of stuff like that. Right? It's a lot of drawing because your deck is so big. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's almost it's direct searching most of the time, right? You search a card that searches a card that searches a card. So because of that, you can run, like, bigger, yeah, exactly. Like, if you had some of the cards in, like, Pokemon, that's another thing, too. Like, the way certain cards search in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot more specific than it is in Pokemon, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Uses archetypes, right? So, for example, I'm playing Raid Raptor. Raid Raptor stuff, most, like, archetypes search for stuff within their archetype or things analogous to their archetype, right? So everything I have in my Raid Raptor deck searches for either other Raid Raptor things or Dark Wing Beast, right? So that narrows the scope of what you can grab, but it still lets you grab a decent amount of things, right? It's not, as needlessly, you know, exorbitant. Yeah, exactly. Dinos will search for dinos. Things like that. So yeah, like, there's an absolute ton of stuff that, that's, you know, searches for stuff. So it's not the end of the world. Durasworm. That's a little bit of a problem, but it's not the end of the world. We gotta contest with a monster on board, but I think we can deal. We still get Fuzzy to our hand. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a game where, like, random stuff works, really. Now, that's not to say, you know, all card games are games where random stuff works. That's, of course, just not the case, right? Also, wait, I gotta skip this one for sure. This one too, sadly. Yeah, like, there's generically useful stuff like spell traps, but yeah, like, you really need to, like, I like that though, like, you need to focus on what your deck's core aspects are and, like, hard funnel into what makes your deck, right? What to grab here? Send you away. That's the one that does not negate. What have we not used yet? We have not used Strangle Lenius, so let's bring out Strangle. Oh wait, I'm goofy. I just bungled. Not the end of the world. We'll be fine. Special Summon Mimicry. I messed up the combo there. I should not have discarded the the Raid Raptor from Air Raid there. I'm a potato. I done goofed! Ah! Let's see, will I be able to make lethal with this? I think I can. Yeah, I always say Yu-Gi-Oh! To me is like the card game equivalent of like versus fighters, like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? That's why I love Yu-Gi-Oh! So much. Like, genuinely, there are only so many card games that let you do ridiculous horseshit like Yu-Gi-Oh! Does. Is it confusing? Yeah, just like those card games, but just like those fighting games. But when you understand and get used to how it works and how it functions and the rules that are in place, it is so satisfying. Like, yeah, a lot of people say, like, the favorite phrase is, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card game for lawyers. And they're not wrong. Like, genuinely, there's, like, a lot of subtext that you need to, like, read in with Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards to understand how certain rules and interactions work. But when you do understand those, nothing else will feel the same. Like, nothing will feel anywhere near as good. Is that enough for lethal? Yes, it is. One turn, homie, drop, please. Oh, hold on. Let me... You know what? Just for funsies. No, not that. Change decks. There we go. You know, we'll have a mirror match here. I'll use my Dragon Maid deck. Bye, Rare Candy! Alrighty, we open Maxi, Fua, Parlor, Nib, Hospitality. This is not an ideal hand, but it's a hand we can make work. Alrighty, let's hope for the best here. We'll just use Fua for now. I don't think I need any more than that. Hospitality is gonna summon, get an extra summon from hand, but I think I want to hold on to the Maxi for next turn. Comes Ernest. Ernest sends a nurse. Ernest and nurse into Lady. Dark-ended hand is going to help a lot for the upcoming turn. Yeah, we'll turn that off for now. Yeah, I think I'm better off holding the Maxi for next turn. We summon Chamber. Alright, we have Kitchen at hand, so we have 2 starters. Add a Dragon Maid spell trap. Probably changeover. Yep, there's changeover. You change over, probably going to Shio. Shio here is a good call. Getting Shio out before 5. You can bring Lady back if you use Lady. No, we're not using Lady. What do we have there? We had New Jarl in here. Okay, so we can bring out Shio that way. Alright. Change over, probably add chamber back. Yep. And there's chamber on the normal with another changeover, so we get house. And then using Shio, we can bring back Lady on the standby phase. And then using Lady, we can fuse again. We have Tin Heck in hand, which is not ideal, but we can make do. Actually, no, I think we're fine with that. Yeah, I think we can make do. These two, and on spheres. Goliath in hand. Did not want to see that. Alrighty, good news. Goliath no longer in hand. We're going to start with this, because this will either force the Shio to activate, or I get a couple extra draws during this. Not sure which would be worse, to be quite honest. Alright, we special summon Shio. Using that, we can bring back Lady. Using that, we can bring back House. Try for the special summon there. Let's see if we can stop that. Alright, that forces the Shio. Okay, so we have House Bounce and Spheres Bounce to contend with right now. Bam. Another Ash Blossom. Hospitality to hand. Hospitality to hand. And there goes Lady. We're probably bringing out another copy of Shio. There she is. But That's 5. And Shio is a hard once per turn. So we're going to use spheres here to send something back to hand. Honestly, Lady is probably the best call here. We don't really want her in the grave when you can use her as a one-card combo for later. Or that. Honestly, not a bad idea. Brock. Alright, we're bringing something out. Let's see what we get. We have a lot of hospitalities here. Bring out Darkness Metal. Alrighty. We have options. Let's... I think Chamber is the call here. So we'll Chamber. We know we have nothing else in hand. We'll add a Tidying to hand. We'll take Chamber. Into Striker. We'll use that to proc Hospitality. Using that to send Sermba. We take these two, make Lady. We'll now proc Lady. Send Parlor. Activate Parlor. Send our other copy of Tidying to the grave. We will now take Parlor and Striker here. Go into Spheres. Very nice. Now we have several options, to be quite honest. I think my call here is to proc Dark End. Send Furious. We still have options here. Let's see, I would like another Dark on board before I do anything else. So what I'm going to do, actually, is use Tidying. Which will let us summon the other Chamber from hand. So now we proc Dark End here. Which will let us go into Star Source. Oh, we can use... Do I need multiple pops? I guess I don't. But I do want. It's fine. Yeah. Using Star Source, because we use 2 Dark Monsters, we have 2 pops with this. There we go. We change over. And because we have plenty in our hand in order to do so, let's use Kitchen and Tin Heck. Let's see. One more thing. Do we... No, that's lethal on board. Hello, Zeno the Blueberry. You're a first-time chatter. How are you doing? Something. Yeah. You're bullying a 10-year-old? No, sir. We're dueling. So, some key things. Because I fight like Dragon Bait a lot, too. The newer cards let you end on a much stronger end board that's a lot more resilient to interruption, but you need to play a bit differently. I do have a replay of a duel I had with a new deck. So, bye, Derek! Which, speaking of, let's actually get to the replays now. I think I'll go over this one first, just to, like, explain the thought processes here. Yeah, let me talk about my deck. I talked about this when the cards came out. Talking about my deck decisions and deck choices. I will make a bit more. I'll go into that again really quickly for later. Or for now. So yeah, actually, hold on, yeah, because this is the version where, before the recent ban list that changed some things, I'll just go over to my deck list. Alright, so, this deck's board, going first, is pretty strong. You can almost always get Lady and Spheres on board, and through that, you can set up Shio. You can almost always set up more on top of that, because the Spheres is both a bounce and it's something you can grab from your deck. There's a lot you can convert into that. No alt arts, the game was mean to me, it didn't give me any. Look at how much UR dust I have, I don't got the money for that. So, a really important thing for this deck with the newer cards. Kitchen, Parlor, and Chamber are all one-card starters now. So you typically want to max out on those. Nurse is useful on occasion in case you get interrupted and you still want things to do, potentially for next turns. I personally prefer loading up more on hand trap than interruptions to stop my opponent from getting to that point to begin with. Vicios are, of course, still good. This is a dragon deck. With Magma letting us get other dragons is always nice. Baldrake is especially good as a target for Spheres in order to stop extra deck stuff that your opponent is doing. There's a couple of Spheres targets, though. Baldrake's definitely not the only one. I like Amorphage Goliath because that forces your opponent to go to the battle phase in order to get rid of it to actually do anything. Even though it will have 0 attack and defense because of Spheres, for a lot of decks, this just straight up ends their turn. Likewise, throwing in copies of Fallen of Albaz as a Spheres target in order to super poly your opponent's board as interruption is also a fantastic idea. If you want to change up your extra deck a little bit and put in Albaz and then these 3 extra deck dragons, this lets you go into Albaz fusions using your opponent's things. And all of these guys are in the structure deck, so they're actually not that expensive. Which is very handy. That's also an option. It's a good option. I just use the other ones because I like them more. What else? Dark End Evaporation Dragon. I highly recommend having this because by using this card on top of your standard end board, you can also end with Light and Darkness Dragon Lord on your board, which is a triple Omni Negate. This one card is 3 mandatory Omni Negates. This card helps insulate your board state a lot more and basically guarantees that they have to use something like a Kaiju or Raw Sphere mode in order to actually deal with the things on your board now. Because most decks will not have the extension necessary to go through 3 Omni Negates, an extra Omni Negate with Shio, a bounce from Spheres, and potential spot destruction from House. So yeah, I really like the new Dragon Maid cards. Very nice. Like I said, I think maxing on your starters and as many decent hand traps as you could possibly get is the call. Because yeah, this deck going second has issues because they need a lot of setup in order to fully establish their board state, and they have problems going second. Can they do it? Yeah, it's not impossible for them. Shio, of course, has a huge amount of attack. You have things like Borreload Furious and Chaos Star Source and the new Philia Regis in order to help break boards going second. But it's not the most ideal for them, so it's not something you really want to do. talked about this a lot more in when these cards came out, when I did that stream. You can find that video also on my channel. If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure it was the new Dragon Maid support makes me bust. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure that's what the I'm not saying it because I don't agree with it. I'm saying it because I'm not sure whether that was the title or not. I'm very tired right now. Anyways, replays. Let's go through some replays. This looks like I'm using Buster Blader Blue Eyes up against, I think this was Rizio. Yes, this was before they limited X and Sword. Alrighty, they are going first. I open Maxi, Jet Dragon, Lubellion, Small World, and Wishes. These are all decent, but I don't exactly have the starters I want to see in this deck. But Wishes is good as long as it doesn't get interrupted. Let's hope the Roaches save me here and see what happens. We summon Ice, Ice grabs Sword. Out comes X. We take these two. Out comes Detonator. Honestly, Detonator as the only thing under a Maxi is not a terrible idea. We drew Destruction Sword Memories, which I really don't want to see in my hand. And Branded Regained, which is not much, honestly. So, time to start proccing stuff and see what happens. Alright, we have Druisworm up board. We're going to target Lubellion. Detonator's going to use its first pop to get rid of Regained here, which is unfortunate, but it will still let me recycle the card. Detonator does not negate cards. It just destroys them, which is important. We're going to use Wishes to send Destruction Sword Memories to the grave, using that to grab Sage. Here is Sage. Now we still have to contend with one more detonation. So we'll proc Sage here, grab Mausoleum. And now we'll take these two. We go into Spheres. And now that we've done that, we can Detonator. And there goes Spheres. There goes Druisworm. But don't worry, that's exactly what I wanted. Because now he won't blow up Mausoleum of White. And now, Blue Eyes. And now I just need to hope that they don't have anything else dangerous in their hand, because, oh boy, if they have Nibiru, I'm afraid. We're going to Small World Jet here, target Ghost Ogre in order to grab Buster Whelp. Because we already have Destruction Sword Memories in the grave, all I need to do here is just grab Prologue. We'll use True Light to special summon another Blue Eyes. That'll let us end on the double 9. We'll use Wishes to attach it with the Neo for extra protection. Nothing's proccing, so I think we're safe to go into our 12s. So, we slap down Spirit. We'll activate again. Out comes Crimson. We use both of Crimson's effects. So we'll send Crimson away to bring out Saphir. And grab Synchro Rumble. I know a lot of people don't like using Synchro Rumble, but to me, if you're using Crimson Dragon, you might as well also just use Synchro Rumble. It's one card. It's not the end of the world if you draw it every once in a while. And it really helps for baiting, too. Also, it especially helps for baiting because most people, if they have a negate, will usually use their negate on Crimson on the first effect when you're grabbing Synchro Rumble, and not the second effect, which is a much more important effect for when you tag out in order to bring out a big 12. You don't really care if they stop the Synchro Rumble, but you do care if they stop the tag. So having it in your deck in order to bring out Synchro Rumble to bait so that they're not negating the tag, but instead negating the grab is much better. Now, I could have put Saphir in attack position here and actually swung. I probably should have, to be quite honest. They sent Aggregator, but I really need Aggregator to not be aggregating, so we're gonna negate that. On top of that, now's a good time to proc Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. Because Destruction Sword Memories is already in there, I instead choose to send both of my Buster Bladers. So now, Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, is out, and thanks to Prologue, so is Buster Dragon. Triple Tactics Talent, trying to take control of one of my monsters. I do not think so, sir. Harpy's Feather Duster. But nothing happens. You see, Stardust Saphir Dragon is not just big numbers. He gives every card on your field one destruction protection by himself. Which is exactly why I didn't want Meteorologic Aggregator to destroy him. Because that would have caused problems for the rest of this. Now you can get your 4s. He tries to go into Exciton Knight. But that's not going to proc because of Destruction. Because of Buster Blader. Oh yeah, also, when I use Prologue of the Destruction Sword's Grave Effect, it actually doesn't help this board or my board state at all. I literally just use it so the game stops telling me I can use it. Because it's very loud and annoying, and it keeps like, hey, you want to turn this on? Hey, you want to use this? You can use this. Don't you want to use it? Use this graveyard effect. Use the graveyard. It does not help my board. Literally, I don't have any monsters where this is actually a good effect. But yeah, with some key baiting, we managed to get around that. I wonder, was Baguska available now? It was not anymore. Yeah, I was about to say, because Baguska would have still worked, because Baguska's defense effect is not an activated effect. So that would have put all my monsters into defense position, because it's not activated. It's instead continuous effect. So, Buster Blader would not have been able to stop that. Up next, we have a duel during the Dice Rally. It's 2 turns. What the hell happened here? What am I using? I'm using good old Cyberse. Mostly Mathmech focused. Yep, because we got Final Sigma in there. I love Final Sigma. This was during the Dice Rally, which, oh god, Dice Rally is a fun event. Alright, I'm going first. They have Utopic Dark Infinity on board. That's a big number. Let's see. When a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, detach the material, so we don't need to worry about that. Target one other special summoned monster you control, gain life points equal to its attack. Alright, so they have a big life point boost, potentially. I have Dotscaper, Double Ash Blossom, Circular, and Wizard. Gotta skip this one, sadly. Not a bad hand, especially because we have Circular in hand, so we're going to use it. Yep. Circular sends Sigma, out comes Circular, we grab Sigma. Sigma's on board, activate Circular, grab Super Factorial. Pretty standard so far, we take these 2. Out comes Alimbertion. Send those away, grab Diameter. Normal Diameter. Bring back anything, doesn't really matter. We take these 2. Out comes Splash Mage. We'll take Diameter. Make Link Decoder. Take these 2. Make Transcode. Pretty standard so far. We'll proc Link Decoder. Transcode brings back Splash Mage. Let's proc Splash Mage now. Bring back anything. Take these 3. Out comes Tempest Terahertz. We send a Defensor for some insulation. Activate Wizard. Summon Defensor. Summon Wizard. Take these 2. Make Heat Soul with it. Defensor procs, Heat Soul procs. We got X-Seed. We summon Guardian. In using this, we can of course bring out the new 5. Allied Code Talker. And then using Allied, we bring out Transcode, and we bring back Heat Soul. We set down to Super Factorial, and honestly, it's pretty good board. That is essentially full board, which is quite nice. We will proc Heat Soul here in order to add Ghost Ogre. We'll send Packbit away and put him in the back row. Help insulate our save here. They will activate Burner. We have Ash Blossom for that. They're running Armed Dragons on top of that, so they have the Armed Dragon. Out comes Pile Armed Dragon. Activating the Thunder Armed Dragon. Out comes Triple Tactics Talents. We're gonna have to stop that one. That will be dangerous. Sorry, Heat Soul. Pile Armed Dragon procs to send to Thunder Arm 5, I'm pretty sure. We will now proc Ghost Ogre in order to get rid of the pile. Bat! The Thunder Dragon 5 still procs, letting them grab Tempest. Tempest procs, getting rid of the 5 in the pile, but now is a good time to Super Factorial. Now that we have cleared board space because we got rid of Heat Soul, they didn't even let us finish. That was a nice full demonstration of what happens if you're going to establish a full board there. With the new cyber stuff. Quite nice. Alright, this is a tryout duel. I don't even remember what the fuck this was. What was this? I think this was for the Master Duel, like, launch mini event they had, where you had to use cards for Master Duel's launch. I think that's what this was. Yeah, that's what this was. So, hey. So they were using, I believe, the tryout deck that was, just a big old Banish Grand Maju beatdown. Yeah. Dude, they used to let you use 3 copies of fucking Desires and Extravagance. Why did they think that was a good idea? For what reason did they think that was smart? Now, naturally, I did not have any decks that were compatible with the era. Because I played like a few months after Master Duel's launch, so even this I was like completely out of the element for. So I just modified the stun deck a little bit to see what I could get here. So here's a barrier statue, Dogmatica, Punishment, and Rivalry. Let's see what happens. There goes Pot of Desires and a whole bunch of face downs. Let's proc Rivalry. Something for your mind, your body, and soul. Oh, Moon Mirror Shield. Love seeing that. Alright, so now we're insulated from battle too on top of that. And when I see that, I know they're probably using the loner deck for this. So I feel a little better. You meanie! Yeah, Compulsing Barrier Statue, not great. We do have Dogmatica Punishment though, but they have Solemn Judgment. So they solemn that in order to not, for me to not get rid of Orochi. Damn. Out comes Bigfoot. We banished Alpha with that. We Bigfoot again. There's Bigfoot. We blow up the Rivalry, where we normal summon Maxi for a bit of extra damage, which checks out. But now that nothing's on my board, time for Evenly Matched. Out comes Inspector Border. We're gonna slap Barrier Statue down and hold off. And reading is hard. So, Gizmek Orochi can banish 3 cards from your extra deck to target a face-up monster on the field and destroy it. Now, did you see what they did wrong? You know, there's a lot of duels where I win because my opponent doesn't read my cards. It's very rare where I win because my opponent didn't read their own cards. Gizmek Orochi's destruction effect only works on face-up monsters. And because my barrier statue was face down, because why the fuck would I summon it face up? I need to not die. They had to use its effect on itself. So unless they decided to banish 8 more cards for the next turn, because you can only use 1 Orochi effect per turn, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. It's okay, it happens to the best of us. Reading is hard. Alrighty, up next, we have a duel against what looks like Fiendsmith Mitsurugi. Let's double check here to see if it's, yep, Fiendsmith Mitsurugi. Alright, let's check it out. I was using Dragon Maid. Your body and soul. Something for your mind, your mind, your mind, your body and soul. Nice. Alright. I open Parlor, Fuwa, Hospitality, and Double Tidying. Not ideal. I don't want those in my hand most of the time. We number summon, I don't know all the fucking Mitsurugi cards, because like all their names are at the end. They're usually Mitsurugi something something, and then their actual name, Aramasa. Thank you. So we're gonna Fuwalos here, but unfortunately, that gets Ash Blossom, so we're gonna have to contend with a full board. Alright, they bring out the red guy. I think that one's Soji? Saji. Okay. Into the Mitsurugi ritual, we send 2. Kusanagi and another Arabasa. For Habakiri. Kusanagi procs, adding ritual back to hand. We use it one more time, use it targeting Habakiri in order to bring out Murakumo. Habakiri activates one more time, adding prayers. Habakiri comes back to board. We take these 2. Making Moon of the Closed Heaven. I mentioned it before, I will mention it again. I fucking hate this card. I really hate the fact that this card basically allows any deck to immediately convert into a Fiendsmith combo. I was talking earlier about how one of the strengths of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the fact that you hard funnel on your deck's specializations because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has such an archetype focus. I hate that this literally just lets you convert into a completely different archetype, completely divorced from your own deck's archetype, for free, basically. I hate this card. It's really lame. So, of course, they go into the Tiny White Woman, into Requiem. Requiem procs, adding Lacrima. Lacrima then sends the Engraver. Engraver procs, sending Tiny White Woman back. Oh no, he's hot! We take these 2, go into sequence. We then proc sequence, returning these 2. Bring out Lacrima. We will then proc Lacrima, bring out Engraver again, take those 2, go into Akonumde, no, into Lena the Light Charmer. We'll sequence here, we'll take those 2, go into Chorozo, go Chorozo Engraver, to go into Baron, and 3 face downs, huh. Oh, you know what? That's different. Well, we're gonna start with Chamber. We already have Hospitality, so I don't care if this gets negated. As a matter of fact, that's actually the preference here. And that is exactly what happened. So because of that, we get to use Hospitality. They will now activate Mitsurugi Purification, which is not ideal. So now Hospitality gets negated. And now we're a bit up shit creek without a paddle. Habakiri comes back to hand. Murakumo comes back. All I can do is set a tiding and hope for the best. Alright, they destroy tiding, which ironically enough is what I wanted, because now I get to use it. And they have to discard for it. I'm going to discard my other tiding to stop them using that, and using that, I will get Chamber to add another Hospitality. I get to live just a little longer. They will then proc Prayers. Special out Habakiri, adding Mirror to hand. We have Called By in hand now. I'm going to use Tiding one more time. Murakuma activates one more. This time I think I sent Parlor. Yep. And just summon Parlor with it. Going into Lorpar. We'll then take Lorpar and Parlor in order to make Lady. We will proc. They will use Purification in order to try and bring out Kusanagi, but we're going to try to use Called By on that, but they will cross out, so Kusanagi definitely gets to hit the board now. That's fine. We'll bring out Chamber. We'll proc Chamber. Kusanami adds Prayers back to hand. Chamber procs getting me Changeover. We'll turn Chamber into Striker. Using that, we'll use Hospitality. Sending Surmba. We'll take these two. Go into Spheres. No, going into SP. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of some stuff, apparently. Checks out. We'll get rid of Murakumo with that. Good idea, past me. Didn't even think about that. We'll return Lorpar and Parlor in order to bring out Shio. We'll proc, bring out Chamber, letting us add something to hand, our third and final Hospitality. Hospitality in a Dream here. They're going to try and destroy Lady. I'm going to say no. Boop. Gotta skip that one, sadly. We now have House. They will now mirror. Out comes Mitama. They will Engraver, send Sequence back, but now we will use SP and try and get rid of the Mitama. Alright, that went through. Prayers procs here. Habakiri comes back using Habakiri, activating Mirror, sending it back. We'll take Habakiri and Kusanagi in order to May. Moon of the Closed Heaven once more. Out comes Requiem once more. Out comes Lacrima. We'll take these two. Make Sequence once more. We'll take these three. Out comes Desiree. Take these two. Make Agnum Day. Agnum Day procs, bringing back out Desiree, equipping it with himself. It is now the battle phase, so Desiree has to proc here. But it was not enough Our opponent was just a bit slow in their decision-making in that instance. Let's see, with the Agnum Day, they would have been able to target all 3 of my dragon mates on board. I would not have died that turn, but it still would have been a bit of an uphill battle. Honestly, I probably should have died in that duel a lot earlier. Alright, and our final duel was a relatively recent duel up against Fiendsmith Mimighoul. Kashtira Fiendsmith Mimighoul. Once again, you know, God, I hate Moon Close to Heaven. That card makes me sad. I like Mimighoul. Mimighoul is neat. There's a lot going on in this deck, too. This time I'm using Raid Raptor. I don't remember exactly what happens here, even though it's a recent duel. Bam! We have Ash Blossoms, Tribute Lanius, Fuzzle Lanius, and Strangle Lanius. Kashtira Unicorn procs, we will try our best to stop that. Alright, no Unicorn. Unicorn will still proc, peek at our extra deck to send away Ultimate Falcon, which is not ideal, but it's something we can live with. Out comes Lacrima. Lacrima going into Requiem. Requiem proc. Oh no, he's hot! The other Engraver proc, sending Lacrima back to bring himself out again. We will take these 2. There goes Sequence. Sequence procs. Out comes Lacrima. Lacrima procs. Engraver's back. Then all of a sudden, Mimighoul Archfiend jump scare. We take these guys, add Beauregard Dragon. Now, if you're not familiar with Mimighoul, they are essentially a bunch of mimics, and their whole thing is they give themselves to you, but cause negative effects for the person that flips them up. Hence, them being mimics. Makes sense, right? They're a hidden treasure test that's actually complete bait. So, Beauregard Dragon is a very cool card in the Mimighoul deck, because it allows you to force a face-down defense position monster into face-up, forcing a flip, causing the negative effect whether your opponent wants it or not, which is what they will do here. So they force me to flip Archfiend. I take burn damage. I have to tribute or send something away, but thankfully I had Fuzzy Lanius, something I don't mind sending to grave because of its effect. They get SP. They give birth. Unicorn's back now. They have Dragon. They give me Dragon. And I have Nibiru. Now I need to flip Dragon here. It'll go to their turn, but it will stop the rest of my monsters from getting destroyed. They'll send away one of my Rising Rebellion Falcons. Not ideal, but as long as they didn't send both of them, that's the important thing. I'm fine with them sending one away. I'm glad they didn't send both of them, because if they did, this would be a much bigger problem. So, I normal summon Tribute Lanius, I send away Heal Eagle, I proc Fuzzy Lanius, I proc Strangle Lanius, and now I go to the battle phase because I do not want SP Lunar Knight activated. We'll take Tribute and Fuzzy, and go into Raider's Knight. We'll now proc Raider's Knight, allowing us to go into Brave Strix. Fuzzy Lanius activates, adding another Fuzzy Lanius. Brave Strix activates, so we'll pitch one of these, add Skip Force. We'll now proc Skip Force. Going into Arsenal Falcon. They're now going to banish some guys from my grave. But thankfully, they didn't banish any Xyz because none are in there yet. And that's going to be important. We'll now proc Arsenal Falcon, putting Raider's Knight away in order to bring out Mimicry. Because of that, we get to proc Wise Strix. We get to proc Arsenal Falcon. Under most normal circumstances, usually want to use the Wise Strix first and then use the Arsenal Falcon to bait that, but they're not having any procs, so I didn't really mind the order this time. We summon Raider's Wing, and we bring out Force Strix. Now you might be wondering, why the hell did I bring out Force Strix? Don't you usually want to bring out something else using that instead? Yeah, the thing I normally bring out is Ultimate Falcon, but they already banished it, so I can't use that. So instead what I need to do is I need to bring out something that will still let me use rank up Rebellion Force. Which in order to do that, I need Xyz monsters equal to the rank of the monster I want to summon. Which in this case, I want to bring out Rising Rebellion Falcon, who is a rank 13. And I have a 5 in there with Brave Strix, I have a 4 in there with Raider's Knight, who thankfully is always treated as a Phantom Knight and Raid Raptor. So I just need another rank 4. We'll use Force Strix while he's on board, add some more monsters to our board, why not? Once again, I'm not getting any procs here. Nibiru would have activated forever ago, but even then, I don't think they would want to Nibiru in their own board state. But thankfully, we now get to summon Rising Rebellion Falcon. And because he has 3 Raid Raptor Xyz monsters, we get to destroy their board, do some good burn damage. We get another search here, so I grab some Org. Mimicry now procs, letting us grab Glorious Bright. I completely forgot about Mimicry. I should have activated this way earlier. Like, when I sent it earlier. Yep. But thanks to now having a 53 tower and a spot trap stop, we were in a good position and our opponent could not extend any further than that, which checks out. Did they actually have anything in their extra deck that would have been able to help them? Potentially. If they could have gotten Moon of the Closed Heaven, allowing them to go into Underworld Goddess, but they would have needed, I think, more summons than they had available at that point. Having expended all of their Fiendsmith stuff in order to make the board that they did. So with that, that is all the replays I have accrued, and some viewer duels as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll come around for next time. Next time being tomorrow. Don't know what I'll do, but I'll figure it out as usual. Thank you. I'm going to lay down now. Later.